Hey guys, let's talk about manifestation. Reality is not slow. It only feels slow when there's resistance inside of you. Reality does not work on human timelines. It doesn't care how patient, motivated, or disciplined you are. It responds to clarity and alignment. Either you're aligned in the present moment or you're not. This is where most people get manifestation wrong. They think that the power comes from trying harder, wanting more, visualizing longer, repeating affirmations louder. But intensity without alignment just creates noise, not results. Reality does not respond to noise, it responds to a clear, steady signal. From a scientific point of view, reality organizes itself around the most stable signal, not the loudest, not the most emotional, but the calmest and the clearest. If you have a mixed signal with fear, doubt, urgency, or pressure, that signal gets messy. And messy signal recreates the same old outcomes, not new ones. That is why most people say they've been manifesting for years with no results. It's not because they're weak, it's because they're conflicted. Part of them wants the outcome, and another part is afraid of being disappointed. Another part is trying to control the timing. Another part is scared of what would change if it actually happened. Reality mirrors inner reality. Instant manifestation only happens when the inner disagreements disappear. Here's the truth. Your nervous system doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what feels safe. If you are stuck in stress, in survival mode, or constant alertness, it slows everything down. Not to punish you, but to protect you. So when people say manifestation takes time, what they're really describing is how long it takes for their body to feel safe enough to allow change. Time is not the cause, safety is. That's why two people can want the same exact thing and it will happen at two totally different speeds. One is relaxed and grounded, the other is tensed, urgent, and emotionally attached. Reality responds quickly to the calm one, not because it's playing favorites, but because nothing inside of them is blocking the response. Instant manifestation is not about forcing reality to obey you. It's about removing the eternal blocks that slow you down. When resistance drops, response becomes natural. When emotional noise quiets, clarity sharpens. And when clarity sharpens, things fall into place swiftly and smoothly. The idea threatens identities built on struggle because it suggests something uncomfortable. Trying harder was never the solution. Control is not power. The fastest way to change reality is to stop fighting inside yourself. Spiritual teachers have said this for centuries. When you stop grasping, things arrive. When you stop chasing, alignment appears. Science explains why. When you stop emotionally swinging back and forth, your system stabilizes. When it stabilizes, reality responds, not magically, but mechanically. This does not mean you do nothing. It means actions, inspired actions, comes from clarity instead of panic. Desire exists without attachment. Certainty replaces hope, and real certainty is quiet. When you have conviction, you don't need to shout it out. It is felt within. And most people constantly send mixed signals without realizing it. They want something but doubt it at the same time. They trust but they still try to control. They ask but they brace for disappointment. So it's like being 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You have to pick a side and stay there. And reality can only respond to one signal. That is why the strongest manifestors don't look intense. They look calm. They don't talk too much about what they want. They don't convince or chase. They move when it's obvious and pause when it's not. Power is not an effort, it's in their energy. Once you understand this, instant manifestation stops sounding mythical and it starts sounding logical. Manifestation does not begin in the mind. That is another thing you have to understand. It begins in the body. Your body decides first whether something is allowed to happen. The mind just explains it later. That's why affirmations fail and visualizations stall when the nervous system isn't on board. A tense body sends a not safe signal no matter what the mind is saying. So when the body relaxes, perception opens. You notice opportunities you would have ignored before. You respond differently. You choose without overthinking. From the outside, it looks like luck, but from the inside, it just feels obvious. You're always transmitted something to reality. The question is whether your signal is clear or not. Clear signals happen when your thoughts, emotions, and body are aligned. Mind-heart coherence. Calm is powerful because calm removes interference. Calm tells reality there's nothing to protect. And when nothing needs protection, changes happen fast. This does not mean suppressing your desire. Suppression creates tension. Alignment allows desire without stress. You can want something deeply and still be relaxed about it. That combination is rare and incredibly powerful. Urgency is the enemy of speed. Urgency says, I don't have it, and reality mirrors that by extending the waiting. The moment urgency dissolves, the signal changes, and things often move immediately. A message, a decision, an opening, not because you forced it, but because the block is gone. That is why faith really is not blind belief, but embodied certainty, the kind that doesn't need reassurance or constant signs. When the body exits fight or flight, creativity increases, perception widens, and change becomes easy. Manifestation that feels instant isn't about obsession. It's about no inner contradiction. Again, certainty, knowingness, conviction. When nothing inside of you is pulling the opposite direction, reality has no resistance to push against. And that is the real secret. You don't manifest by force, you manifest by coherence, by alignment. When coherence becomes stable, reality does not need to obey. It just naturally aligns. So you can manifest in the blink of an eye, with the speed of light, the moment you learn to, number one, trust yourself, have a constant and clear signal, meaning picking a side and staying on that side, trusting the side you choose to be on, having a mind-heart coherence, alignment, meaning you say one thing, you think the same thing, and you feel the same thing. Everything is in alignment. You're not having opposite or contradicting thoughts and beliefs. Everything all aligns. Everything is the same through and through. The moment you get that, you will manifest like this because there's no resistance. There's just alignment, stability, clarity, and manifestation will appear. Simple. I hope this helps.